Steve, it is time to discuss this matchup between the San Antonio Spurs and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Naturally, the biggest question, figuratively and literally, looming over this one is if we'll see Victor Wembanyama in this basketball game. Like, traveling with the team to Vegas, we will see if he's actually going to play. If he does, that is a whole lot of star power. And that is a fun wrinkle to add and a fun test for this OKC defense to deal with in light of the fact that, we're coming off the Magic Knicks section where they have played 3 times already. This is going to be their 4th. We haven't seen Spurs Thunder yet. The Thunder haven't seen Victor Wembanyama yet. And so I guess the basic question I'll toss your way first, Steve, is if we do get Victor Wembanyama in this basketball game, where do you think we see the biggest impact for him against OKC? Is it what he can disrupt defensively or the challenges he may pose offensively?
Well, number one, it's very interesting. OKC and San Antonio have not faced off yet this season. Makes it pretty fun. They will play each other 3 times in the next 13 or so days, including Christmas Day. So they're going to get real familiar with each other, which starts to get real interesting because in the back of my head, as everyone has rightfully praised the Oklahoma City Thunder for their start and asked the question, hey, what do we do with this team? What is the answer? And I keep looking at the Western Conference standings, and I keep seeing the San Antonio Spurs around that 4 or 5 range. And my brain goes, what if the answer is just Victor Wembanyama? What if the really tall alien is the one who can just undo what OKC does? How? Not sure, because OKC is very good, but he's got size. What if he's able to kind of cut off the paint? What if he changes that? What if he's able to take Chet Holmgren off the board? What if he's able to punish Chet Holmgren on the other end? What if Wemby, on top of what these guards do, just adds a different element? Now, OKC has seen great players. OKC has thrown great players into different positions. And, you never know. It might just be Alex Caruso, make life hard on Victor Wembanyama. We've seen that movie before.
He can't dribble, yeah.
But it gets very fun to see what that would even look like. This version of Wemby with the Spurs against this juggernaut Thunder team on both ends of the floor, I think that would be interesting to see. So I'm hopeful for his health, but I would like to see what that looks like. And if the Thunders decide, hey, not you either, we'll find out quickly.
Yeah, that's where, one, I want to see Victor Wembanyama play basketball because why would I not want to see him play basketball? But as we've kind of gotten to the lead up to this game, and I said this to you yesterday, I'm just like, I don't know if Wemby coming off of an extended absence and we are slow playing this to make sure he is 100% healthy. I don't know if I want his first game. If I'm the Spurs, Wemby is a super competitor. He's ready to take it on against anyone. So this is outside of him. If I am the Spurs, I don't know if I want my first matchup after this kind of absence to be dealing with all of that at once. But that's a whole lot of we can. They have the personnel to poke at everything in the multitude of ways that we have seen Wemby struggle or ultimately overcome different things. Hey, what does Wemby look like against switches? The Thunder can switch. Hey, what does Wemby look like against double teams? Oh, the Thunder can do that too. Again, he's good enough to handle it, but it's just I don't know if I want that to be the first one.
Okay.
I would like to ease him into these. If I am the Spurs, this is not Wemby. If I am the Spurs, I'm like, hey, let's
walk through this real quick. Now,
Okay.
I've pulled up the Spurs schedule. I'm no mathematician. Again, they face OKC in 3 of their next 6 games. So in between, they play the Washington Wizards, at the Atlanta Hawks, and then at the Washington Wizards. He's going to have to see them if he comes back.
That's true. But if I can start him against those versus the Thunder, now he has some game reps. He's getting to get more of the win. Because here's my thing. And I say this as someone, obviously I don't have Spurs sources. If Wemby plays Saturday, is it just 0 restrictions? You can play 35 if we need you to, 39, or is it going to be more of the shorter stints?
It's
Let's keep this around under 30. I would assume it's going to be the latter.
It's likely a men's restriction. Come on.
Yeah, so that's where I'm just I would rather have the ramp up period be with those other games, so we can have full-fledged Wemby against OKC versus the minute restriction version against OKC. That's just me. I'm fine with being on the island on that, but that's just kind of my thinking with that. I would want to ease him in elsewhere. But to answer my own question though, I do think I would be more interested in like what the Wemby defense means in this particular matchup versus the offense. Because to your earlier point, just what OKC has been able to do with anyone being able to initiate, anyone being able to screen, the overall driving talent of this roster, the paint has been a huge portion of the OKC success formula. Puncturing that and then kicking out and generating open threes is very important. You put Victor Wembanyama in that, who since he's been in the league, the rim rate for opposing offenses just fall off of a cliff when he is on the floor. Yeah, that could get kind of hazy for an OKC team who, again, top 5 offense this year. They went pretty much the first month of the season not being able to knock down threes. And we are now talking about a one-off in the semifinals. And if they win, another one-off in the NBA Cup, though that's not going to count towards the stats and all that good stuff. And so if you're just telling me Wemby is here, we're not able to puncture the paint in the same way. And now we get the 2 of 7 from 3 game from Lou Dort. We get the 2 of 7 from 3 game from Jalen Williams. In a one-off, that could be kind of dangerous. So like I would be more interested in the defense portion for Wemby if he does make his return.
Okay, understood. Now, what if he doesn't? Because if he doesn't, this feels like a very good test of what San Antonio has shown so far. Hey, this guard play is really fun. Here's the Oklahoma City Thunder defense, prepared with multiple people who can guard all of them and will switch and are physical on all drives. And so it's very fun that you like to get downhill. Hey, here is an elbow in your hip, and we are showing hands, and we are getting out, and we are recovering. And if you beat that, there's help behind it. So we're going to test that. This defense, boy, you guys are competing. The effort's there. Are you ready to keep the ball in front? Hey, nice drop defense. Here's a reject. Can you recover and make multiple efforts? Here's another drive. That's where it gets fun. And like, that's the fun of this matchup for me. Like, I'd love to see Wemby, but if we don't see Wemby, okay, let's see how good this is. Let's see how much flow you can maintain, because we love the off-ball movement. It's been fantastic. Physical denial, can you play through that? Can you keep your pace? Can you keep your flow? So I think that's where it becomes a test for the Spurs, sans Wemby, and another example of what the OKC Thunder can do on both ends of the floor.
No, I like it. I think this, without Wemby, would absolutely just be a drive battle that I'd be super interested in. And like different types of drivers in that aspect. So if you're just trying to study how players win in that kind of context, this is a fun one for you. Shea does not drive the same way as De'Aaron Fox, as the same way as Stephon Castle, in the same way as Dylan Harper, and on and on and on. Even to the bigs. Like, we've talked about Chet's growth inside the arc, like a whole lot of pull-up jumpers and turnarounds for him, but like he's putting his head down a little bit more than what we're accustomed to. He's gotten comfortable there. And so like I do have the typical Nekias question, hey, if there's no Wemby, how exactly is San Antonio matching up? I would assume this means Stephon Castle, you have the Shea Gilgeous-Alexander assignment. We'll see what that looks like. I was watching back Spurs Thunder from last year, since we haven't seen them this year, and the personnel obviously different. It was very funny to see like Stephon Castle and Chris Paul on the floor at the same time. It's like, yeah, that is a thing that was just happening, huh? But shout out Chris Paul. But for OKC, certainly not like a new concept, but it was a lot of, hey, Shea, call for a guard to screen for you. Here's a switch. Now it is time to attack. Either to go into another ball screen, or I just have a matchup I want. San Antonio gave up those switches. We're going to try to show help. And OKC was able to puncture a lot of those gaps. They were able to generate a lot of good shots. And so I am curious to see like how much of that formula remains the same for San Antonio in this one. Like, how willing are they going to be to give Julian Champagnie the Shea matchup? Let's switch him out. Let's let you handle that. Harrison Barnes, who again, I think has had a good year for San Antonio overall this year. Are you ready to have to deal with that? And if this does end up being a shot-making game for OKC off of that, if you're showing that those extra bodies and things like that, it could get interesting for the Spurs defense. Like, I wonder, does Mitch Johnson press the zone button in this game? Like, it's not a thing. I don't think that's the thing he's afraid to do. As you've talked about, though, Steve, like, this Thunder team is a lot more comfortable against zone.
Hasn't been a thing that the OKC Thunder have been afraid to attack. I'll tell you that much this year.
That much is true. But hey, it's a one-off. We just need y'all to be uncomfortable. I don't care if you've been excellent against it this year. Are you going to be good against it today? Like, I just wonder, like, what kind of change-ups do we see from San Antonio's defense? Because I think that, again, like, I would be more intrigued by how the Wemby impacts that end of the floor if he's there. If he's not, all due respect, Luke Cornett is just not Victor Wembanyama. Like, I don't think there's going to be a level of fear for OKC to attack the basket. In theory, it should be more free-flowing. But that is also where I say, as the Spurs have been a team, we'll drop, we'll show help from a little bit of everywhere. Our guards can get very aggressive off the ball in particular. I go back to that early portion of the Suns game. Hey, you can't walk into this one thinking we're just going to be fine. If you turn the ball over against the Spurs, they will score on you. They will build confidence. So you can't, this is not going to be an easy one. Like, I think I'll spoil my own pick. I do think the Thunder win this game, but like, I would not walk into this one like we can sleepwalk through this one offensively.
Now, very quickly, what about the Oklahoma City's 24-1 start, including 16 consecutive victories, has made you believe that they are sleepwalking through anything?
They've had some interesting first halves, which sounds very funny as I say that out loud. But in a literal sense, like, hey, listen, they did lose to Portland, but like, hey, we've had a Kings first half where it's like, hey, wait a minute, what y'all got going on? What is this? Like, they've been in some battles to where they aren't making shots or they're turning it over a little bit, or the defense isn't as airtight as it can be. Now, the fun of this Thunder group, to your overall point, is that when they do flip that switch and lock in, they can just throw a game over the top rope in 2 minutes. Like, you think about like the 15-16 Warriors where it's, oh, here's the 3-point barrage. You went from up 8 to down 15. You don't know what happened. The Thunder more so do that defensively to where, wait, we haven't gotten a shot up, it feels like, in 3 minutes because y'all are being rude. And now here's another Case and Wallace pick six. Here's a Lou Dort steal. Oh, no, we're down 15. So, like, they can still do that. So that's where, again, I ultimately land on, I think the Thunder win this game. But no, they've absolutely had some lulls throughout this 24-1 stretch. They've overcome them, but the Spurs team's good. That's all I'm saying.
This is just interesting talking basketball with you because on one hand, you will ask, hey, is Oklahoma City the greatest team ever? And on the other hand, you will talk yourself into the San Antonio Spurs, sans Victor Wembanyama, potentially pushing the Thunder towards the brink of a loss in the NBA Cup.
Any given Saturday. Listen, even the greatest team, like, there's been no team that went 82-0 and played A+ basketball in all their matchups. Like, these things happen. All I'm saying is this Spurs team is a little too good to have, like, I think it was the first matchup against Sacramento. If you have that first half against this version of the Spurs, you are going to be in a different position, I feel. That's more of my overall point. They just got to be careful. It's a good team.
Quote from, first off, Any Given Saturday was not the name of the movie. Secondly, quote from Art Dadnall about avoiding complacency during their historic start. You have to understand anything in the past takes you out of the present moment. Anything in the future takes you out of the present moment. And the competition happens in the present moment. I think they're going to be fine.
Okay. I ultimately think they're also going to be fine. I'm just putting some caution to the wind. They are on the revenge tour, Steve. That is the one thing I haven't heard too much of. That was not a fun end to their NBA Cup experience last season. They may be motivated for this one. And if the Suns game was any indication, they're absolutely going to be motivated in this one. But I just want to see what it looks like. Quickly on the X Factor front for me. Harrison Barnes, be ready to make shots, be ready to drive, be able to hold up defensively. Case and Wallace, again, I have loved the defense. He is part of the initiation package for OKC. I do think the Spurs are going to be fine with letting him shoot, despite what he's shooting so far this year. He's got to be ready to knock down shots, too. Those would probably be the two guys that I would highlight primarily. A lot of different X factors within this one, especially with these second units. Like Keldon Johnson could play a big part in this one. A.J. Mitchell could play a big part in this one. But that's kind of where I land on the X factor front. Do you have X factors in this one, Steve?
San Antonio, cross your fingers.
Oh my. Yeah, I'll leave it alone for now. But I'm excited to see what these matchups are going to look like, Steve. I have the Thunder in this one.